say.
This is all gonna be edited.
Right, I was about to say, there's going to be a lot of heavy editing.
Right. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It's cool, though. It's cool.
Oh, man, the destination is Freeport, Illinois. It is 2019, late July, you know, and I am here for a family reunion, so don't be alarmed if you hear or see other family members coming through, walking through, cussing each other out. But what is very important is this is the first episode, the pilot, if you will, of Camp from the Port. It's my brand new podcast, and I thought it was only right to not only do it in Freeport, but to have it with one of my closest friends from Freeport. I've known this brother that's with me right now since, I want to say like middle school, like Carl Sandburg. I think we go back for sure, you know what I'm saying? And from the lunch tables at in 7th and 8th grade, you know what I'm saying, when I almost seen him kill somebody for their jokes getting a little bit too outrageous. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
From us in bands and at Tri Double I, you know what I'm saying? He seen a white girl stalk me, you know what I'm saying, at the Tri Double I
joint. That was the craziest thing right there.
You know what I'm saying? Yes. And then shout to Steve Pro for cussing her out, and then we never seen her again the rest of the festival.
I
or
did,
get the event, you know.
I seen it, but
but it's all about us talking about crazy times like that in the class of '99, because that's where we are. This is my man's. Do I give you a government name out of it?
Yeah, man.
This is my guy Jason, man. This is my guy Jason, and thank you. You know what I'm saying?
Appreciate it.
I tried to round up maybe some of the fifth period band crew, but you know we all live in different cities and states now.
Right.
I'm sorry I didn't directly reach out to Pro. I am sorry. That probably would have been cool to have him here. But sometimes, you know, for pilot episodes, maybe just one guest is just more than enough right now. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
at least you're gonna have at least a list. Like we can get back to that later. You know?
Right. Absolutely. We're gonna do this again, obviously.
Right.
So man, the first thing that was on my mind as like even the ball dropped on 2019 is, man, we're coming up on 20 years.
20.
Since we've been out of high school.
Don't feel like it that much. I don't know about you, you know.
Nah. So I guess where we want to start is walk me through graduation day and your expectations for life once that was just like a reality, like, yo, we're gonna graduate high school, bro. Like, what was that like? What did you see? What did you want to see for yourself at that moment?
Well, shoot, this was what, June 6, 1999.
You got the date on me.
Yeah, hot day, you know what I mean? You know, I guess the first couple months, it was just like, I think with me in high school, it was just kind of, I survived. You know, those first 4 years, you know, those 4 years and everything, it just kind of like, you know, like I tell my son all the time, you know, shout out to, you know, my son Jay, junior year is always rough. So just like after junior year, senior year, not necessarily it was a breeze, but it's just kind of like, maybe I'm over it, let's go through it and everything. So when I got up on that stage, got that diploma, I'm like, yes, it's over. Maybe I can wind down a little bit. Not that I wasn't taking life seriously or anything, but it's just like 4 years of just going through like a lot of stuff, and it's high school, you know what I mean? So
yeah. Hey man, you know what though? See, that's kind of the problem I got like with like society and life and like adults, right?
All right.
We were 18 years old, some of us 17. Like I literally just turned 18 and then we graduated. How was I supposed to have life figured out? Like what was I really supposed to do with having my life together at 18? Have you seen like 18-year-olds like present day?
Yeah.
Like, they don't know shit.
They don't.
They don't know nothing. And you think about it, we were expected to like, yo, what do you want to do? You want to go to college? You want to get your bachelor's? You want to get your master's? You want to go to the army? You want like, and it's like, whoa, hold up. I just got away from gym class. Like, why you want me to know what I'm gonna do with the next 50 years? Right.
And I think what happened is, especially, you know, with our parents, it just kind of like, their system was a little bit, I won't say easier, it's just like, you graduate, either you go to college or you get you a decent job, you settle down, you have some kids, you repeat. Then we get older, it's like we have more expectations of what we want career-wise. And we may not necessarily know what we want to do. You know, like one of my uncles used to say, it's just like, when you go to school, you go to college and everything, it's not uncommon for you to change degrees.
Word.
or sway somewhere else. Because when I got out of high school, it just like the only two things on my mind was art and music.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's just like, you know, we talk about band all the time. It's just like, you know, it was nothing for me to do music, and like art, that was just, you know, easy. And it's just like I'm doing one of those two things. I don't know how, when, or what, but that's what I, you know, main focus. But when I got older, it shifted somewhere. You know what I mean? And that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just like sometimes, you know, it shifts. Maybe it's a maturity thing. Maybe it, you know, I don't have that drive in me. I don't think it's that, but it's just like people in general. You know what I'm saying?
I dig it, man. To circle back to that a little bit, like I remember when I was going through just high school, so what, 94 to 99, right? And I started off, I wanted to be an electrician, and so I was taking all the electronic technology classes, and you know, was trying to get into house wiring and learning all of that. But man, that's when like hip hop started changing my life. So by the time
it did.
So by the time like I get to like 97, I want to be Diddy. Like I want to be Sean Puffy Combs. Like that was literally my goal. I told my mom that, she laughed at me. I
kind of seen that in you a little bit. It's just like you, that did make some sense. You know what I mean? Yeah.
So it was like, I mean, so you think just in that time from like 14 to 17, I already changed what I was gonna do with life. Like at that point, right? So after changing right there and kind of really getting no support, and I'm not even talking about just from like family or friends, I'm talking about from the school. Like I ended up going to a tech school with aspirations of being Diddy. I had no clue, fam, in 98, 99 that Columbia College existed.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that wouldn't even, it was like a fine art school, and the thing is, playing saxophone, they were always like, well, you could possibly get a scholarship, but they were like, go to like Iowa State. I'm like, I don't want to go to Iowa State. Like, I don't want to be nowhere near that. What the fuck is that going to be?
Right, because that was the same thing when, like I said, when I was getting into music and everything, it's just like my option was like, go to Full Sail, because our band teacher, Mr. Daniels, he had a son, Justin. He just like, well, you need to link up with Justin and everything, you know, and all this other stuff. Gave me pamphlets and everything. That school was expensive. I don't know what it is now, but it was pretty expensive. But I was willing to go. Was down there, Winter Park, Florida, or something like that, 2-year program. I was thinking about that. That it's just like the more I did it, it's like, and this is probably, I don't know if this is where you're going with it, but it's just like at this time, this is where, you know, out of high school, you like, oh, I got it all figured out. It's like, well, I'm pretty good at music, you know. I got the little computer, you know. Eventually, I got into Fruity Loops, Sound Pro, and all this other stuff. Like, I don't really need it, and realistically, some people don't, because you see nowadays, some people go to school for computer programming. There's like a 15-year-old right now that's killing the game right now. You know, where you got somebody in their 20s that's like still trying to figure it out. So it's like I could probably do the same thing. So it's just like, in reality, it wouldn't have been a bad idea, you know. And as far as school-wise, you know, I got a lot of lessons from a few of my uncles, and another lesson that my uncle told me about school too is just like, other than, you know, you might switch degrees, it's just like, I guess he felt in me, I wasn't gonna be that type of person that necessarily would work under somebody. You know what I mean? He expected more from me. You know what I mean? And everybody's always going to expect everything the greatest, you know, and then reality is just like, some things, the greatest thing in your life is just to be that regular person working that straight job. You're not working for a few months and quit, but like, I'm gonna be here 10, 20, you know what I mean? And so when he told me that, he just like, when you go to school for business. So it doesn't matter what you do. You can be a chef, you can be an artist, you can be you can be on that Diddy mode, whatever like that. At least you know what you're doing with it, and you can branch out. You know, even though I went to a tech school, I ended up, my degree ended up being in operations management. You know what I'm saying? So like, it's literally all about learning process from top to bottom, which honestly, that still ended up being the best thing for me. But they sold me on two things. They was like, man, it's cheaper than going to like NIU or Marquette, which I was really going to go to. I was going to go to Marquette. I remember that.
I did everything but go on the visit, and it was also a school like in I think it's like in Missouri called like Truman University or something like that. I think I got a letter to come out and go there, but I was just like, I don't want to really go to school, because I won't even front. I'll keep it a trill now. I hated school.
I did too.
I did good, so I wouldn't have to repeat it. So like when we got
Right.
to senior year, I think I had all my credits except for the ones you needed for like gym. I had like 3 study halls, gym class, and like English.
Right.
And my GPA was a 3.5, a 3.85, and they were like, but like you're doing so great. I was like, because I don't want to be here. Like as soon as the skip days come, like I'm out.
I was the same way, and I think that might have hurt me in the long run. I tried to get my son off that too. It's just like I was that one kid in class where it's just like never turned in my assignments. I was always pre-thinking where it's like this, like, well, if the assignment's due on Monday, I can just bypass this right now and turn it in on Wednesday and probably get a C. Then on Friday I can make it up. It's like I was one that like I always like my assignments were like C's and D's, but when it came down to tests, A's and B's. I was the person that messed up the grading curve all the time.
See?
Like I'm the one that sit in the back, sleep and everything like that. But when it came test time, I get an A. It's like, how did he do it? You know, that was me. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, listen, we kind of got some of the same things going. But see, me, I would do all the homework. I make sure my grade is as high as possible. Go to sleep in class. Get up, pass the test. People was wondering how I was doing it. And I'll never forget, because shout to Coffee. That was my guy too. We hung out real heavy in high school. We used to have, I think it was Miss Armesto's English class. It was like eighth period though.
I remember Miss Armesto too. Yes.
So like, what would happen is I come in there and go straight to sleep. Like sometimes I'd be asleep before the passing bell ring. I'd be sleeping there until the whole class is over with. And Chanel Jameson, yes, Chanel ass tried to go to sleep, and this is what Coffee told me when I woke up. So like, I really wasn't awake for this. But he was like, he said, man, Chanel tried to go to sleep like you in the back of the class. Miss Armesta was not having it. She told her get up, and then she was like, you let Cameron sleep in here all the time. She said, well, Cameron has an A. so she was like, he can go to sleep in this class. I was like, yeah, I was like at 97%. So
there you go.
So I was like, yeah, and I'm about to pass her English because English came so easy for me, bro. I was sitting there, I could write, finish my assignments, and then I'm like, I'm out, like I'm going to sleep.
See, English was rough for me though. It was always science and history with me. Like I used to memorize the periodic tables, all the presidents from backwards to forward. I don't know why I can do that, but I used to, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Shit, chemistry class. What was the dude's name? Mr. Whelan?
Yes.
Mr. Whelan.
Yeah.
I think this was him. And my bad if I get his name wrong. But I remember I thought I was gonna fail chemistry. I thought it was gonna be the first F I'd ever get like in life. And somehow, you know, it didn't stop me from going to sleep in class. It didn't stop me. I woke up and set the curve for the test. With like a 79 though. And I was like, wait, 79 was the highest? And he was like, yeah. He was like, you set the curve. I'm like, oh, like, so you think I know this shit now?
Right.
Like, this is like, man.
Now everybody, all eyes on you now. Like, well, Cam, you know.
Right. And everybody's like, oh, but they was like, well, Cameron set the curve. I'm like, so I looked, and like, I think Sadie was in the class then. Everybody turned around and looked at me. I was like, I don't know how I did it either. Like, and then he was like, but it's 79. So if you got like a 79 to a 60, no, like, yeah, 79 to
don't be
69,
too impressed with yourself, boy.
Right,
you know?
that's an A. So like,
don't be too impressed.
Right, it's gotta be like the only time where somebody got like a 40% got a C, C for the class. I'm like, but this shit trash. Like nobody want to do this.
Right.
But
that's the person that missed 3 days out the week. You know what I mean? It's like, I passed. Yep.
Like, hey man, hey, you know, whatever works. But thinking about all those moments, man. I don't think it's a way that you can really take, you know, high school that serious to the point where you know what you want to do. Only because, just like even going back to what your uncle was saying, they teaching us worker mentality off top. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's always show up, be alert, be awake, read, study, take this test, pass this, do this homework. And it's like, what if I don't want to do that? Like, what if I want to incorporate this into something else? Or like, what if I'm just not passionate about doing this? Like, how are you going to keep me motivated to do this? Because, you know, once you get to college, two things happen to you, right? You still got that whole element of process, but then you got that, but you ain't gotta go though. It's literally like yo, because you either at the dorm or you got an apartment, so your mom ain't about to wake you up. You know, so your pops ain't about to wake you up. Do nothing.
That is that trying moment. It's just like, I got this like exam, but do I really have to go?
Right. Exactly. And you thinking like, man, I ain't going to class today. Oh well, it was my student loan money. I ain't gotta go to the class.
It ain't your money, it's mine. Don't worry about it.
Exactly. So I think about all that and just like I don't know what could be done for the school system or whatever. I like even like District 145. Like I would have loved like not that they necessarily set up college visits, but maybe asked us better questions on that exit.
Right. I think not even necessarily that the teachers was on their way out, just like whatever. Right. It's just like, and I definitely see it now. And I try to, get other people, my son on it. It's just like, do they really prepare us for the real world? I mean, okay, well, I know a couple dead presidents and, certain government laws and, and all this other stuff, but it's just like, which one thing I will say I was fortunate enough, like, my senior year, they did have like college classes. It was like a small handful of us. So I did end up learning business law, psychology, sociology, stuff like that. So that actually was very beneficial. But what I'm saying is they need to be more on that, because it's just like when you got out of high school, did you know anything about balancing a checkbook?
Nah, nope. Matter of fact.
Did you know anything about credit?
I know I didn't have none.
Right.
That's why my mom had to get my first cell phone. And my name, and her name, she was like, "This is my phone, but cause you ain't got no credit." I'm like, "Well, I work at the movie theater. Like, I can go buy the phone." She was like, "It don't work like that. It don't work like that." And I'm like, "Well, that's trash." Like,
right. And these are things they don't teach you. And like I said, it goes back to like how our parents was raised. Like, well, you graduate, you go to college, or you work, you save your money, you buy yourself a home. Now, granted, like homes were a little bit cheaper then, but really all they had to do is just like save your money and you're good to go. You could do that with a car. Cars are even more cheaper than that. And nowadays it's like it's the same. Well, it's not even the same thing. It's just like nobody tell you like, well, I got like $20,000 saved. I can get this home. It's like, well, let me see what your credit looking like. It's like you have absolutely none, or you have bad, because like nobody teach you all this other stuff. And a lot of us is like we're falling behind because we didn't get taught this. It's like maybe somebody's parents taught them this, but my parents never taught me this.
Man, and you know what? And the thing is, though, fam, I would say also this: living in Freeport, I had an unrealistic view of how much it costs to live. Like, we grow up on my first job. Now, obviously, this is still the late '90s, but like $4.75 was minimum wage when I started working, and then I got to $5.15. But then, I bring home a couple checks. That's like $300-400, and I'm like 16, 17. My mom telling me rent is like $400 or $500. I was like, oh, so I just work. I could live in a house, like a 3-bedroom house, and for like $500.
Right. You didn't even put any kind of bills into play. You just like, well, that's just one check. I can do the other check and round that up, and which we still do today. But it's just like,
because my logic was this: I ain't even working during the day. Imagine if I worked like at 8 o'clock instead of going to this bitch ass class, instead of sitting in study hall. If I was working from 8 to 3, man, I could probably, I'll buy a couple houses. Like,
that's how you think though,
And then you get to Chicago and people be like, man, it's like 800. I'm like, oh, for real? Like, why? Like, well, where the 500 area at? Like, that's a good place.
And they laughing at you. This like,
they're like, where you from? Like, where you from? I'm like, oh man, it's so like even that was culture shock for me. Like just small town kids, you know what I'm saying? Going out to the cities and you just see like the cost of living be so different. Like when I tell my mom, like I tell people like my mom bought her house and it was like $69,000. It was like, where you stay? Like they think I live like in a shack, or like we live like in like destitute, like 69,000. You're like, man, is how much money she got put into it so y'all can live in it? And I'm like, no, it's cool. Like
No,
the basement ain't finished, but it's like it's all
right.
set.
It's like we're almost done. You know
Like
what I mean?
they got the furniture coming in now. like it's cool. It's super cool.
Right, because I was telling that, like, it's not, I won't even say it's like even Freeport. It's just like, for instance, like, there's this guy I work with, you know, because yeah, the last time I talked to you, I was discussing, like, you know, my personal business venture, what I'm doing, you know, and all this sort of stuff. And the guy, he was just talking about, like, you know, homes up here in Freeport and everything like this. This guy stays in Monroe, you know what I mean? It's about the same size, a little bit smaller, you know what I mean? And he has, like, a 2-bedroom house, like, only like 1,000 square feet. He paid like 108,000.
Oh wow!
And I told him, like, right now, and I think I was telling you that one time. I was like, dude, I found me like a 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom house, like that's like over 2,000 square feet for like half that. You lying? Not, you know, going Zillow, look at it, you're like, what? And this one even like on the bad side of town. It's probably like, you know, somewhat average. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, you know, so you know that comes into play too. That, you know, it's just. When you're so used to where you at, that's how, you know, you figure the rest of the world is.
Word, I mean? Absolutely. Man, switching gears. Best moment of '99. Like just that whole school year. Like as you sit back and we think of like that senior year. So it was summer into the fall of '98. Like I was already gearing up for like the fact like, yo, I ain't never gotta get up at 7 o'clock again in life cause it's lit. Like I can't wait to not be in class. Like I've been waiting for this. And when they showed me my overall GPA, I started with like a 3.85. I was like, oh, kiss my ass. Give me all the study halls. What I gotta take? I ain't like I ain't gotta do no more than what I gotta do. Like it's gonna be senior ditch week. I'm not doing senior ditch day. I'm gonna do whatever I want. And so like I was only concerned about with gym class, band, and I think I was still taking science. I actually like science. You know what I'm saying?
Science was cool. Like honestly, like me, like our electives, because we only like math and English. Like after like junior year, I was done because you can only do that 2 years. Like I don't have to do this no more. Well, y'all keep on doing. That might have hurt me, but still, now that I think about it, it's just like after the first 2 years, I was done though.
Man, oh God, hey yo, I knew I was never going to use algebra again. So as soon as they told me I had to take no more math classes, I was like, bet. Because again, at this point, I'm working. I'm not solving for X at nothing at the movie theater.
No.
Like I wasn't doing none of that. The maybe graphs and pie charts. That was it.
And those are just pictures.
Exactly.
They kind of like, you know.
That was it. Look, I can count to 10. I can make change without typing the shit in the register. I was like, dude, like
in my head I can do it. I ain't gotta count. See?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. It was like, dude, like if your order at the movie theater was $5.85 and you gave me $10, I knew to give you $4.15, and that was it. I was like, okay, boom.
Shit, I knew how to do that because it was on the register. So I don't. See, I was ahead of you. Like you was counting, I wasn't. I'm like, it's right here. I'm not gonna mess up.
Right, you know what I'm saying.
I was ahead of you right there.
So I'm like,
you know
I'm like. So as soon as I could get rid of like all those classes, that was it for me. But again, man, me just wanted to be Diddy, man. Band it started becoming important, but literally, again, I just wasn't sure what to do with it. Like I played the saxophone. I kind of had some aspirations of playing the drums, but I think I could get my coordination down right. But and then I was like always like writing. So I was like, how can I make money doing this? And really nobody had an answer for me. You know
and I was in the same spot. Like I said, it was like, you know, music was my thing, and it's just like, and I would say, and I know it was like with you too, not just '99, but like, you know, from freshman on up, like music was like super important to me. You know what I mean? Like it changed the whole mood and vibe of everything I was doing. Like it's different now, and it's just like I was stuck on the same thing. It's like, who can help me out? You know what I mean? It just like. And I would say being in the band did help for us because we was interested in, you know, R&B, hip hop, and everything like this. And this is people playing classical music or, you know, old school top 50s and everything like that, and having knowledge of it where some people wouldn't. You know what I mean? So I think that helped, but it's just like we still was like stuck. after what do we do next? You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. I mean, and me being as much as I am a hip hop fan, I'm a bigger, if not an equal or bigger fan of 80s rock music because of being in band. You know
Man,
what I'm saying?
at work, I would sit there all day. They just like, how do you know this? It's like, from Freeport?
Yeah.
From Freeport, you know what I mean?
Hey, like, I promise that I go through the same thing, like, all the time. Like, you know, my wife would tell me, like, you know every song. I'm like, no, I don't. I just remember these. And then, but it's like, no matter what station you turn on like the rock station, you turn on the oldie station, hip hop station, and I just happen to know the song.
Right, so when you out in the bar, it's like some 80s rock going on, and it's like you want to tap your feet, like,
yeah,
I know this.
You know what I'm saying? But when you're playing John L. Williams and Andrew Lloyd Webber, but then you're playing the Beatles and Chicago and Journey, and you're 14 years old, it's like,
why do you know Journey? You know what I mean?
Right.
You're not supposed to, but yeah, you know what I mean?
Man. So, and I'm sorry, I don't know if I ever gave you a chance to really answer, but what was your, like, I guess when you figured out your destined path that summer of '99, like we are literally here where we are 20 years later, everybody out of school, we kind of like getting into our shit, doing whatever we want to do, and there's obviously something that's like, sitting in all of us, like, I gotta make something happen. Like,
you know what? Honestly, it will probably be like maybe a few years later, but still, I think after the summer ended, because you know, when the summer is like, you know, like you said, it's just like I'll have to go back to school. I'll have to get up at 7. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it just like it wasn't one of those. Reality set in. It's just like, oh, I had to find a job. Like, I had a job before I think I graduated, because we both worked at Cub Foods at the same time. Then like a year after that, I started working here actually at this hotel. You know what I mean? So, you know,
Steve was a hotel back then, though.
Right. So it just kind of sat on me. It just kind of like I was kind of lost what I wanted to do, but I knew what I wanted to do. It's like, well, I really need to get this music thing going. And unfortunately, with me, the college, it didn't really work out. I had a plan to do this and do that, and I had to put the whole college thing on hold. There was a lot of issues with that, but I had to find another way. That's one thing. It's just kind of like, well, at least you had college. At this time, it's just like I didn't have college, so it's like I had to wait and figure out. So it's like, you know, another strike against me. It's like, how do I do this? Do I do it here in town? Do I move? Do I, you know, pick up somewhere? And that was a lot of things that a lot of people did too. It's just like, do I stay here? Do I find something else elsewhere?
Man,
you know?
fam, you know what? I'll say this, especially for us 80s babies that was like 90s teens or even 2000 teens that was told go to college. Like, I don't think they really broke down to us, go to college when you're really passionate about something. Like, for us, I would say college was super overrated. Because we come from that time, from that time where our parents, who might have had us pretty young, were told things like, hey, you better learn computers because computers are going to take over the world. So if you don't know how to use a computer, you're going to be homeless. Like you'll never find a job if you don't work with computers. Like, you don't you won't be able to be successful. You won't be able to buy a house or do these things. Like, if you don't know technology or computers or business. That was always their two things. And you know, here we are 20 years later, and nobody really turned on the light bulb like, hey, people build computers. People use computers to complete jobs. Like, it's not like, you know, a computer can't replace you if I can turn it off. You know what I mean? It's literally like, so it's like literally one of those things where it's like, college for us was overrated. And not that it's not beneficial to the people that can really like use it or need it or whatever, but like for every trade, to be real, college ain't necessary. Like, if I wanted to be a landscaper, bro, I could take some accounting classes at Highland, make sure I can count to 10, make sure I can make invoices, get out here, but go to Menards, buy me a lawnmower, go buy me, you know what I'm saying, hedges, and I'm in business. What up, cuz?
What's up, man?
What's happening? Since the helicopters are going by all crazy and messing up this great episode of Camp from the Port, I might as well tell you real quick, buy a Camp Quotes tee. You know, any mantra that I personally live by or just things that I have said in the past, they are now immortalized as merchandise. Merchandise for you to have on your back or your chest or maybe even your legs, your head, your feet, wherever you want to put it at. It's up to you. You know, if you feel like you're not going to die broke and you want to live by the mantra, I'm not dying broke. If you just want to say Jesus Christ or just fuck, I got something for that. You can live by it. You can stand on it. And if you need something more inspirational, like grind with gratitude or, you know, be memorable, be polarizing, be self-aware, be authentic, I got that for you as well. All you got to do is get on teespring.com/CamQuotesTees. All right, back to the show. With that being said, so college really ain't useful for everybody, depending on what you want to do.
It's really not. It's really not. I will say for anybody, just like if you have a chance to go. Yeah. Like honestly, I like anytime you have a chance to get some knowledge and study and learn something, go 4, 8 years, whatever like
Absolutely.
that. But don't ever feel like you can't accomplish anything because you didn't. Because we can have a list of people, celebrities, everything like that didn't go to school, didn't finish school, dropped out, and they're doing just fine with themselves. So,
Absolutely.
you know.
And you know what? Something else, I won't even front. Something else that I think is overrated, Jay, that even I did. And at the end of the day, I am thankful for the lessons that I learned by doing it. But leaving Freeport like at 18 is a little overrated, especially for if you have like no definite like goal, I should say. You know what I'm saying? Like if you like don't just leave to say I'm going to school and I'm out. You know what I mean? Like I want to say I might have been able to save myself from a little debt.
Right. And you know what? I mean, that's actually a good reason to leave. You know, because you're going to school. Yeah. I mean, I tell people all the time, it's like, are you leaving or are you running?
Right. See?
Are you leaving or are you running? You know what I mean? Because people like,
difference.
oh, well, Freeport is this and that. They don't have this, they don't have that. And they go, and it's just like, now you're going to a bigger place, a bigger city with a bigger economy. So it's just like, oh, I'm going to get this job. Where you, like, well, let's say at that time, it's like, well, I'm making like maybe 15, 20 bucks an hour. It's like, no, that's like down here.
Right, exactly.
You just the equivalent of living in Freeport. You just got like
you just
more people.
Taxes higher, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? You're around more people struggling. Like for instance, like I know some people that definitely like moved, knew what school they were going to, was going into like a definite job they wanted to, but then you got some people that just leave, gain an addiction and a baby, and then they back, and it's like, damn, like you could have did that here. Right. You could have did that here, or you could have just waited, you know, found out what you really wanted to do, and then move. Like I know for me, I just knew that I had dreams bigger than Freeport.
Right.
So like.
And that doesn't sound like you was running. You had an idea. You just didn't. Once again, like we've been talking about like last time. It's execute, and we didn't know how. You know. I'm sorry.
No, you're all good.
We'll edit all this, okay?
Oh, yeah,
so,
of course.
So, one thing I learned, you know, in the last 20 years, and just people different, everything like this. What was really weird is I had this conversation. I picked this before our first high school reunion. We was at Jumpin' Joe's, and I ran into Amit Patel.
Yeah, my
Amit
guy,
Patel.
Amit.
Man.
Amit, real quick story on Amit. Amit is my guy. When we were in the same kindergarten together, I think, Lincoln Douglas. And I'll never forget, my mom was like, are there any black kids in your class? I was like, yeah, my friend Amit. My friend Amit Patel. And she was like, it's a black kid named Amit? I was like, yeah. Like, I thought nothing of it. He's Native American. He's Indian, American Indian. Right. I was like, oh, but you know what? Brown skin, black hair. We were cool.
Right.
I was like, hey.
Makes sense.
Like, hey, it makes sense to me. Like, it's another black kid. Yeah, it's him.
Right.
Like, because,
black enough. Yeah.
Right. You know what I mean? Hey, when we were at Freeport, for a while, for like a long time, you were like black, white, and Mexican. Like, that was it.
And very little Mexican.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you know what I
I
mean?
never forget. I kind of forget homegirl name, but we're just gonna leave her off here just in case. I called the one Dominican person that we had in our class, Mexican, and she got so mad. That was the first time I learned about race relations amongst Hispanic people. I was like, you can never call.
You probably have to say Hispanic, and I might be saying that wrong. I'm sorry.
You know what I'm saying? Or Latino or something, or Latina or Latin. Like, but yeah, well, like when I was like, you Mexican, ain't you? She was like, no, I ain't no fucking Mexican. I was like, oh, I know that was a cuss word. I was like, oh, my bad. I'm going to class. I'm out. Like, I know that serious. I was like, yo, you know, you got the same curly hair as Elsa. I didn't know. Like, you know, like, yo, like my bad. Like, my bad. No,
that's a very serious. Yeah. That's very serious right there.
But no, onto a meet though. Our guy.
So I'm there with Meat. So you know we meet and greet and everything. Oh man, I haven't seen you in a long time, whatever like that. And you know, Meat said one of the amazing thing. This like slightly off subject, but at the same time not. It's
all subject.
It's gonna go back to it.
Right
It's gonna get back to it. Yeah. But he would sit there and he's like, man, our class was one of the greatest class ever. I'm like, okay, sure, whatever, because you know, I do too.
Kev, I feel him on that.
I do too, but
or the 90s,
yeah,
right. Because that was it, you know what I mean? That was you couldn't do nothing else after that. It wasn't 90 something after that, you know.
Right, you know.
But so basically, he was just like, you know, our class was so diverse. You know, our class had so much. He was like really riding that packed out. It's just like we had so much potential and everything. It's like any of us at any point in time, it didn't matter who we hung around with or what kind of circle we was in. Like all of us had potential to doing something. And he was so serious about that. It's like, I'm not gonna say I didn't take it seriously. It's just like when you had a bar and bar talk, it's just like, is that more the liquor talking?
Yeah.
And not to say that I didn't believe him. I still kind of believe him. I don't even think he remembered this conversation at all. But this was like 12 something years ago, and I remembered it, and it's still in my head. And I thank you for that, even though you probably don't remember. So shout out to me.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? But he was saying that. So what I'm saying with the whole conversation with that, I'm saying it's just like with the whole leaving Freeport, everything like that. With me, since I'm still here, it's just like, oh, well, you're stuck here. You know, it's just like, am I stuck here or do I have a plan? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You know, this town can really do a lot of stuff. It has its downs, but
absolutely.
There's a lot of potential, and I'm starting to see people potential. Like you said, you're going to be talking to Ryan tomorrow and everything like that. You see that. You see Zay with, you know, that store. You see the Adams Boys and their restaurant. You know what I mean? So
Junior too, man.
Yeah, shout out to him. You know what I mean? It's like they doing something. It's like you don't have to necessarily leave Freeport. If you want to, I get that. You know, like your plan. That worked for you.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't know if you could have done whatever you could do, you know, here in Freeport, but you know what I mean? Me, I kind of see that. I see that maybe I can. And it's just like, some people feel like your dreams, okay, well, let's say, you know, everybody want to be that multi-millionaire. It's like, well, you got this multi-million-dollar idea, blah, blah, blah. I have to move to DC. I got to move to Chicago. I got to move to New York. It's like, why do you have to do that? I mean, sometimes certain employment they don't have here, whatever like that. For let's say, for instance, we see this all the time. I think we had this conversation. I think you had this posted on Facebook about, like, you know, people, the whole T-shirt gang. You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
Nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? You know, and I'll never get nobody, you know, discouraging advice, but it's like, I think you said that's like, that market is super oversaturated. Super old. But just me saying that doesn't mean that you can't do it. You know what I mean? So it's just like, let's say you had that really good idea, you know, a basic idea, and you can run with it. Why do you have to move this way to do that? You know what I mean?
I get you. And you know what? It's kind of a combination of things, Jay. I think at one point you got to think about your resources and what you have.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like some people are really not, I guess, savvy in the aspect of creating from nothing. And honestly, I think that's an advantage that everybody from Freeport has over like the world. Like, we're literally in the middle of nowhere with next to nothing. Like, Freeport wasn't even on maps before 2005.
Right.
I know, I checked and I was trying to explain to people in class. And they were like, where's Freeport? I was like, yo, see with Rockford? I was like, you see that, like that highway, that's Highway 20. Like, my town is like right there. They was like, it's nothing there, Cam. And I was like, it is. Shut up. It's Stevenson County. Like, I know where it is. So I look at it like, okay, you kind of know what tier of business you want to do. Like, like for instance, like you couldn't tell me the owners of Glicks weren't successful.
Right, it's your own level of success.
And
you know what I mean?
And they're super serving the community. Now maybe they was only clocking in about 40,000 a year, 40, 50,000 a year. But in Freeport, that's real bread, especially in 80s, 90s, you know what I'm saying?
Right, so I think your idea of success is just kind of more on the individual. Like I said, if you need to go and, you know, like I said, it just, like you said, the options of what you have, the resources, like yes, maybe you have to leave, but sometimes that resources, like maybe you have to stay. And if your resources and if you're really good at what you want, maybe I'm digging way out of here like this, like I said, I was giving an example of $1 million ideas. Like if you have that $1 million idea and you was really good at what you're doing, it's just like if you that good, you don't have to like go out here. They're gonna come to you. You know, sometimes, but you know what I'm saying?
No, you're making a great point.
Right, and like I said before, just like what Amit said before, it's like all of us had all this potential.
Yeah.
And not even my class and everything like that, because I'm like sitting here looking at my brother right now. It's just like he left Freeport and he's doing amazing with himself right there. And it's just kind of like, you know, you're welcome, sir.
Trying to work.
Right, you know, but you're doing your thing though. And I see you know what I'm saying?
KevinBaker.com. You know?
Exactly, you know.
I paid some ass dollars. I got you. You know, hey.
But you know, I see him, and it's just like you wouldn't think like him from Freeport would be doing anything, and it's just like, and you get people from the opposite. It's just like, so you know, we kind of get envious of people that grew up in the city and everything like that. It's like you get to see these big names, you get to see these corporations, you know, stars and all this other stuff like that. Like, you know, your goal is like easily you can reach out and all this other stuff. We have the dream to dream your dream to get, you know what I mean? I had the dream to get to Chicago and live basic, where you're just like a step away or reach away, you know what I mean? And you got people like you, him, you know, other people just like you're doing that. So it's like I would say a lot of people in Freeport, not even just our class, it just we have that potential of doing something, you know what I mean? So
and I think that that potential of doing something, I think it's about finding people that can cultivate it and bring it out. That's kind of why like I'm kind of on this push of like, yo, I want to talk to my other cousins. I want to see what the young people in Freeport are doing because I hear so much bad about the town like now where we said 20 years later. And it's not like bad stuff didn't happen when we were in high school. Shoot. Speaking of our class, like yo, we had the I think our class, like specifically 99, but definitely our 94 to 99, the first murder, the first suicide, the whole Nazi thing that was going to be a race war in the school.
I remember that.
You know what I'm saying? Like
how many bomb threats did we have? We had like 2 bomb threats, right?
No, more than that. Because
I know 2. I'm just kind of guessing on the 3rd one, but I know definitely 2. You know what I'm saying?
Because after the Columbine shit happened, they start. It was like bomb threats like every like 3 weeks at one point. And they wasn't sure to not take it seriously or not. And then the Tim McVeigh shit happens when we in high school. So we really like the world. We were literally the class that was watching the world change and how this shit just operates differently.
And that's the weirdest thing. Not even just our class in 1999, but just in the country. It just like from 2004 or not 2000, but 94 to up here. It's just like we see a lot of change. Like we see that that new millennium change. You know, and we got wrapped up in that. It's just like majorly. You know what I'm saying?
It's like we literally closed out the century. And also this, Jay, think about this. We were supposed to graduate high school, and then Jesus was supposed to come back, and we was all supposed to die.
Y2K.
You know what I'm saying? like Y2K, like literally.
I think this was supposed to happen twice, though, right?
Yeah, but the one Y2K, like even Busta Rhymes was telling us on albums, like, yo, there's only 4 years left. Like we only.
And he was serious, and I believed him.
And he was dead ass. So like I was like, why should we pay for me to go to school if the world gonna end on the 31st? Like, why I gotta go? I started school November 1st.
And that's more reason why you were serious not to go to school. It's like, well, I don't really got to come in anyways, and it ain't gonna be no school no way. We all gonna be dead.
Like, yo, the ultimate world blast is coming to like end everything. So
the hell with midterms.
And I'm about to give y'all my tuition. Like, no, we should live it up. We should do something. Give me my give me my FAFSA payment back. You know what I'm saying?
Put that shit right on black.
Right. So I think about all those things, man, and it's just a reminder, like, again, 20 years later, and a lot of things have changed, yet a lot of things have not. And we are still all navigating, I think, in our way to get like a new level of success. Like whatever we thought was success in high school or that graduation day, it changed by 21, which then changed by 25. Then we got to the 10-year reunion, and then we looked around. Like, I don't know about you, like I walked around thinking like, okay, where's the valedictorian? Where's the class president? Where are all the straight A students? Mm-hmm. I was like, where's everybody that did really good in school? Like, where are they? And honestly, I didn't see any of them. I was like, oh, like the dude that was like having all the girls crying in school, like where he at? Like right. I like just to see like where are they now?
It kind of make you think. It's like everybody that was doing this, like where are you doing? Then the ones that you didn't think was doing something, it's just like, oh yeah, I got this little auto shop over here, like you know what I mean? You know, and you know that valedictorian. I'm not saying ours, but you know, they probably got like 20 kids and like on their 4th divorce right now. Which there are some people I do know, like you know, right now that they're like, you know, it's like you know. Divorce number 3, you know, good luck, you know what I'm saying? But, you know. And
I think that's all in the whole pressure of figuring out life by 18. Like, it's unrealistic.
You're not going to figure it out.
It's super unrealistic. Like,
you're not going to figure it out in your 20s. I mean, sometimes, like, shoot, I mean, we all know our age, I ain't going to really mention, but it's like some people are still trying to figure it out now, like pushing 40, you know what I mean? And I don't think there's something wrong. Everybody feel like there's supposed to be this time limit. It's like, well, if you ain't got yourself together, like, in your 20s, you're not doing nothing with your life. Right. You know what I mean? I think I seen something is very unfair. You know what I mean? And I just seen something posted on Facebook. I can't remember who posted. I want to say it, but I don't remember. And they had just a list of people who did things like in their 30s, like you know, I think LinkedIn, Instagram, all these are people like 35 and up. You know what I mean? And we're not even in our 40s yet. You know what I mean? I'm glad I don't look like it, but you know what I'm saying? You know, but these people is just like, you don't have to be 25 and all this other stuff. It's, you know, you could do anything in your 40s. You could do anything in your 50s, you know. And I think nowadays, especially, I guess, that whole turn of the century and millennium, it's just like, I think how we look at age is different. Because, like, when we shorties, it's like, you know, our age now, it's just like, oh, you an old man. I don't feel nothing like an old man. Way I think, it's like nothing old, you know what I mean? You're like, when people was like 30 years old trying to buy like the slacks and wearing like the dress socks and sandals and all that, I was like, dog, like, I can't even see that at 40.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I was like, I just felt that our class, like, and beyond, I think we're just aging cooler, but you know, we end up seeing a lot cooler people. Like, you know, if your pops seen Sam Cooke and he was that dude, and Sam Cooke died like early, so you just thinking, oh well, shoot, I guess I might as well get my senior citizen look together. Right. But it's like I never really thought about aging to a degree. Like, I always wanted to be old enough to do everything I wanted to do, but not necessarily like age, like, oh, I'm an old ass nigga. Like,
is it just me, or have you like sat down and thought it's like what kind of old man you want to be?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm one of the coolest old dudes alive.
You mean it's like, do you want to be that, like, you know, disgruntled, you know, kind of angry? Like, I think I'm leaning in that direction. You know, I think I'm leaning in that direction where I want to be angry. You know,
you want to be angry?
I kind of, you know what I mean? I'm leaning in that direction. You know what I mean? Not that one where it's just like when I was your kid. No, nothing like that. But it's just like I want to throw a shoe at a kid right now. You know what I mean? Like, I can see y'all don't know nothing. You know, I kind of want to do that a little bit. You know, man.
You know what, man? You know who my muse is to grow old, man? Furious Styles. Furious Styles and Boys in the Hood. I'm gonna be the OG that's around that like nobody really want to mess with, but you know you gonna get some game from him. It's like, you know, like he was telling everybody to come outside, and he was like kicking the knowledge about gentrification. You know, they buying us. She's like, why you think it's liquor stores and all this on our corners, but when you go to the white neighborhood, you see this. It's like, I want to be that guy. Like, I want to have just a wealth of knowledge that, like, just the young people around me are like, yo, we gotta talk to Cam, man. He know what's going on out here.
Well, I
Like,
need to
that's how I get my
reevaluate
game.
what kind of old man I want to be, because I was thinking about Pops from Friday, you know what I mean?
Right, you know what I'm saying? And I'm sure he helping somebody out. But yeah, man, my goal is Furious Styles, man. By the time I'm like 47, 48, I'm like, I want him looking at me like Furious Styles, man. Like I really got it together, and I'm just kicking ill ass game to all the shorties around.
Get around, my son.
You know what I'm saying? That's how we gotta do it. Man, as we wrap up, man, I just I wanna, I guess, focus on the future.
Yeah.
Obviously, we had a lot of nostalgia talk, and we've already confirmed, you know, possibly leaving your hometown prematurely is overrated, even if you're not ready, right? And we've discussed the possibility of college being a little overrated. We've highlighted Class of '99 of the things that we were taught. As we move forward, you know, as we pray and we hope to be alive for another 20, 30 years, what's on your radar as that 30 reunion year comes and that 40th reunion comes?
Multi-millionaire, like I said. No, honestly, when you get to, like, you know, because we'll be in our 40s or whatever, you know what I mean? And right now, like, my son is 16, you know, and I still have a goal, a plan of doing, you know, very successful with myself. But it's just kind of like, now that, you know, my son is older, we looking at school and jobs and everything. It's like, it's kind of even more cool just doing, you know, taking care of family. Not even just like, you know, wife, kids, like your friends, your other family, extended family, you know. That's what's kind of cool to me now.
Word.
You know what I mean? Back then, it's just like, okay, well, I want, you know, have this, you know, bidding down business, have this car, this house, and everything like that. Yeah, maybe I still want that, but it's just like, what's cool just now is like, if I can just bring that back here. You know what I mean? Because some people, we know a lot of people that, like, they do well for themselves, and you never see them again.
No doubt.
They almost like they don't even like claim they from here, you know what I'm saying?
Word.
You know, so it's just like, I want to get to the point where it's just like, whatever I do in my life, you know what I mean, I can be an example, just like, well, shoot, Jay, he did that, he did, you know, and he, you know, he was from here. Or, like I said, it's just like, what if I had that plan where it's like, I don't leave, you know what I mean? It's like, and it's like, think about that. It's just like, if you had like Bill Gates money, you're still here in Freeport. It sounds weird, but it's just like, it's one of those things where, like I said before, it's like, well, we feel like we had to stretch so far to, you know, and it's just like, what if Bobby Johnson was still here?
Right. Hey, but to your point though, Warren Buffett made his 100 millions and billions, was in New York and was like, nah, I'm not fucking with that. Moved back to Oklahoma City and has been there ever since.
Right. You know, and like, and if I recall, I might be wrong, like this, like, you know, you hear about Silicon Valley and all this other stuff. That's not really a big town, if I recall. You know what I mean? And it's like, and you see what's going on there. It's just like, that's what I'm saying. It's just like, yeah, that whole idea of Freeport being like that, that's way down the line. But it's like, if we gotta get out of this reality, and that's what happened to this world. Like, whatever the world was, it's like, this is our world, our universe, and that's what we did. We don't change it.
Like,
we just accept it, and we nag and complain about it. It's like, oh, well, we can't do this and can't do that. It's like, why not?
Like,
you know what I
why
mean?
not plant the seeds of growth to build the ecosystem that you desire to function in?
Right, because nobody ever think it's like, it could be them. You got to get out that mindset, like, it can't be you. It's just like, why can't I be this person that, you know, put this in the mind of this child to do this? Or why can't I just do it on my own? It's just like, everybody feel like, well, Freeport or Illinois or the world is set up this way where I can't do this. We need to do this. We need to do that. I can't do this. I can't. It's like, just go do it. Yes, there's going to be a lot of strikes against you. Yes, it's going to be harder. And it's like, yes, maybe the resources for Freeport here, maybe you do have to leave and come back. But it's just like, at least do that than nothing. Because a lot of people are sitting here and just saying this and that and doing nothing. Then when you do something, that's when they get in. And that's another thing I think with Freeport, is just like, we need to start believing in the people here in town.
Word. Oh man.
You know what I mean?
That's
It's just kind of like,
That's a bar.
and we don't do it while they're successful or where they're gonna be successful or they're gone or some whatever situation. Like I
you
said,
see the potential in it.
right. Like I said, I'm sitting here looking at my guy, brother right here. I'm looking at you. I'll say it right now. Love y'all to death. You know what I mean? I've been watching y'all for like, I don't know how long. Like, love y'all. Y'all been doing major things. It's like, I don't know if this gonna help y'all or nothing. But it's just like, I've seen this in y'all way before then. You know what I mean? And it's just like, I don't want to wait. Maybe, situations that happened in the past few months or whatever like that. I don't want to wait to tell people that you're great, that you're going to be something. It's like, I'm going to say it now. Because that's the difference between people being successful and being a failure. That's the difference between people like doing something with themselves and people like, unfortunately probably ending life, their own life. It's just like, it take that one person to be like, hey, I believe you. I mean, because some people, they can believe themselves all day. They just need, that one person. Or even the opposite. It's just kind of like, you hear it from everybody. It's just like, when are you going to start believing yourself? And I think that's the problem with Freeport. And a lot of people here, it's like, stop waiting till, I remember when Cam, he was over there, he doing major and everything. That's my guy. It's like, no, I'm going to say that now. Because I hope when I do, you like, that was my guy, Jay. You know what I mean? So you give me a shout out, you know what I mean? But all seriousness, you know what I mean? But all seriousness, like, it like, I support you now.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Always appreciate it.
You know what I mean? So like, we was talking about Shirley and Parkside Groups. I support you now. Adam's Voice. I support you now. You know what I mean? So I'm not gonna wait till you have another business and making $100,000 a year and everything like that or more. It's like, I support you now. I want to see you do good things now. You know what I mean? And it's just like, we need to do that. It's just like, and if you have that idea, it's just like, don't shoot it down. Or even if it's a bad idea, put them in the right direction. We're not doing that, with each other. You know what I mean? It's just kind of like, even if it's the worst idea, just like, set me right. Don't just be like, oh, well, that's a bad idea. Because some people, they're not interested in giving you advice. They're just telling you when you did something wrong. And just so they can say, like, I told them not to do this, I told them to do that, just so you can say something.
Your shit trash, it ain't gonna work. I told you.
I told you. I was the one that told them they want to go do that. They want to be that person. You know what I mean? I want to be that person. It's just like, I tell you this, and I don't need credibility. I don't need pats on my back. It's just like, just be that person to help, and nobody do that. Like I said, there's so much potential here in business and everything like that, and nobody wants to just help. It's just like, oh, why don't I start business? Well, you need to go down here to the township and do this, or you need to talk to this person, save this money. Nobody have business plans. So I'm sorry I'm rambling, but you know what I mean? But
you're not rambling, you're making a great point, because I think again, even just circling back to 99 and to bring it full circle where we are today 20 years later, I think the reason why we haven't really replaced your Glicks, your Okie Dokie, your Seabr's Market, your Down Home Foods, your Chicago Style, like we haven't replaced so many stores that we used to convene all the time, it's because nobody is really helping the people that might have the inkling or the idea to even do them. It's like, well, what made Okie Dokie successful? How can I make it successful? That's why I'm so happy, and I'm very proud of Ryan, because when Shirley was saying he was going to open up in Edie's in the old Edie store, I was like, wow, that's major, because the first thing I thought about was all the nostalgia tied into that store on the east side and everybody having to be out there. So it's just like, even if people have potential, they have an idea, and if you can't help them, why not assist? Like, get them to like at least on the right path. You don't draw the blueprint up for them if you think that's what they want. Don't do that. But at the same time, put them in the right direction to let them see if they really want to do this. Because some people quit out of frustration. They quit out of lack of assistance or help or resistance. And it's like, the last thing some people need is to have people out there with the semi-auto shooting down their dreams and their aspirations.
And the worst thing is, like, you go to family members or closest friends and they shoot you down. And one thing I do when I try to, not necessarily I got my all my shit together or nothing like that, but it's just like, you know, but being older, or I kind of feel like, you know, when you try and fail and try again, you know, you have some kind of experience. But
Right.
you know, when it comes to advice, I try to do like at least 4 things. It's like, you know, I give you the realistic, you know, some positive reinforcement.
Right.
You know, then I end on a good note. So it's like, if you like run a business, like, well, because one thing we hear all the time with business, it's like, well, you know, like 75% of all businesses, you know, end in the first year. I know that. Stop
Right.
telling me that.
Right.
Oh, tell me what to do. It's like, oh, well, you know, if you do this and do that, and you got your marketing strategy and all this other stuff, you can go past this.
Right.
Yes, this is going to be hard,
Yeah.
but if you do this and continue this, and when it's all said and done, when I'm done with this, like, I love you.
Right.
I hope you do well. I'm, you know what I mean? That's what
Right.
we don't hear. All we hear is just like, well, you know, it's gonna be this and you're gonna be that. It's like, I already know. It's like, I already know the risk. I'm
Right.
like, it's a risk for you because you're not gonna take it. I'm gonna take it. You know what I mean? You know, because
Exactly.
people throw their like preconceived notion of what they can't do.
Right.
You know,
Absolutely.
and that's the thing. It's just like, well, that's gonna be hard. Like, you know, with somebody that's trying to lose weight and try to exercise and everything, it's like, oh, you thinking about running that, you know, the marathon? That's gonna be hard.
Until we get into that mode where we really trying to assist, reach back and help, I think it's always going to be an issue. And that's kind of what I want to take away and kind of close out with. It's like, we know from being class of 99, last of the millennium, facing the aspect of, you know, not even being here by Y2K, but we also got the mixed information, the misinformation.
A lot of misinformation.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then and just that what next with no definite, you know, sometimes in some cases plan. I think what's so important for everybody, young and old. So if you are on your 20-year reunion, or you just graduated, you're just graduating right now, I just want to say to you all, it's okay if you don't know what you're gonna do. It's okay to not have it figured out. You know,
don't let nobody pressure you that you can't, you know what I mean, that you have to do everything right now. Y'all still young. You got your whole life. I mean, yes, life can change in different ways, but like he said, it's just like, don't rush it, because you have different jobs and careers and change your mind, and that even look even worse.
Yep.
So yeah, just be young. Just be young right now and think for yourself.
Absolutely. I mean,
You know,
hey, I look at it like this. I changed careers like 2 or 3 times before 30 and ended up having the greatest actual career industry run of my life. That's how we got this podcast here. We get Cam from the port. We get Cam from the port because I hated retail management, but I also hated school. But I also wanted to have.
you are so
some other
anti-school
careers.
right
Yeah,
now.
I was.
What kind of message we sending in? Like, I just got done saying, y'all.
Hey, look. No, you can believe Jason and you can believe me at the same time. Look.
No, you can, apparently you can't. Don't go to school.
So some of y'all know school
Don't go
ain't
to
for
school.
y'all. And some of you know that you gotta do well enough in school to get out. Listen, I think what we're both saying, no matter what though, is information. Information is your most
Just be
powerful
average
tool.
right here. That's all you really
You know what
got.
I'm saying? No, don't be average.
Don't be average.
Please don't be average.
No.
Because average, you'll be working for us. You probably might not want that. You might not want that. Because I probably won't pay well in the beginning because, you know, I'm grinding. But
Right.
but,
He's honest about it, you know?
You know what I'm saying? But education and information, I think, is always key. No matter what you are going to do, just make sure you're well versed in it. You know, you will see what is in your purpose because it's going to reveal itself. But there is no shortcuts. You know, there is no breaks. Like, people think working independently versus school is a shortcut, and it's not, because you still got to acquire the same education and information to do whatever it is that you want to do. But understand that it is very attainable. It is very possible for all of you to do it. Keep people around you that want to see you do it, and I'll keep it real with you. It may not be your homies from school. It may not be your cousins or your god brother or your girl or your mom, your dad. It may not be any of those people, but you have to make sure that you surround yourself with the type of people that want to see you achieve the goal that you are after. And you may have to go it alone. It may be very lonely, but that's okay, because your passion will supersede all in an effort to get where you want to go.
like I say all the time, get some tough and bless the hard way, for real. Like, you know what I mean? I think back then I used to put like quotes of the week and everything. That was like one of my quotes. I think my quote of the year, just get some tough and bless the hard way. Everything's gonna be hard. Be thankful for those, like the hard way, for real.
Absolutely.
For real.
So hey, we're about to wrap up. We gotta do this again though.
Yeah, because I really wanted to get into like some music segment because like, oh man, because I could have been on that all day.
We might have time for another episode where we'll talk some music things. But this was all about specifically our journeys through the class of '99.
Right.
Salute to everybody that graduated in the year 1999. We are 20 years older, hopefully 20 years wiser, 20 years more successful, 20 more years of just living and loving life with true purpose and passion. Hey, you can be anything you want in this world. Make sure you are not a person that ages like milk or juice from concentrate. Alright? This is Camp from the Port, episode 1. We appreciate you. We love you. Until next time. All right, Jay.
All right.